Maybe The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, and maybe Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll.
Welcome to Hello Readers, a podcast brought to you by North Vancouver District Public Library. In episode 5, we'll be chatting with
Phoebe.
Phoebe is 11 years old. She'll be telling us about her favorite classic novels and some newer funny graphic novels she enjoys as well.
Where would your dream holiday be?
Probably maybe PEI?
Oh, nice. Have you ever been there before?
No.
That's one of my dream holidays too, PEI and Newfoundland. I would love to go there. Would you rather go to space or swim to the deepest part of the ocean?
Go to space.
Do you prefer the forest or the beach?
Probably the beach.
Do you have a favorite movie?
The original live-action Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I love that movie. Judy Garland, so good. Who knows you best?
My family.
Would you rather be a wizard or a superhero?
Wizard.
If you had to make one rule for everyone on Earth to follow, what would it be and why?
Probably no littering.
That's a good one. It's so silly when people litter. What is your favorite food?
Carrots and macaroni and cheese.
Oh, nice. What is your favorite kind of weather?
Rain.
Do you have any hobbies?
Reading.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you became a reader? Did you always enjoy reading? Was it something you got into recently?
Reading's always been a part of our family since when we were babies. Our mom and dad used to read aloud to us from picture books to chapter books.
What are your favorite kinds of books?
Magical and classics.
Okay. Do you have a favorite book?
Phoebe and Her Unicorn. It's a graphic novel, so I'm not sure if that counts.
Oh, it counts here. Graphic novel, comic book, magazine, any kind of reading. But there's quite a few Phoebe and Her Unicorn ones, and those ones are, I believe, by Dana Simpson, if anyone's listening. We've got a big collection in our graphic novel section. Is there any specific books that you wanted to tell me about today?
The classics, probably.
Sure, so you can just tell me anything you would like to about the classics.
I think that even though some people think they're dated, that everyone should read them.
Okay. Is there any particular ones you think like someone should start out with?
Maybe The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, and maybe Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll.
So when I was younger, I read The Wizard of Oz, and I really liked it. And then my dad, he had a collection of the books that come after Wizard of Oz. Like there's Ozma of Oz, TikTok of Oz. There's a lot of other ones, which I almost enjoyed even more. Have you read any of those ones?
No.
They are so good. Like if you ever want to read like another one, the other Wizard of Oz books that come back, they have like a whole bunch of additional characters. They're really good. Okay, so Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz. Any other ones?
Anne of Green Gables.
Oh, I love Anne of Green Gables as well. What do you like so much about Anne of Green Gables?
I like that it takes place in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I like most all of it.
Anne is a very good character, I think, because she has so many different, I guess, like she's very intelligent, she's very feisty, she's very passionate. She's just, I think, like a very well-developed character. So this is kind of a tricky one. But in your opinion, what makes a good book?
Ones that make you feel emotions, I think, are good books.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice you would give to a parent or like a child who just doesn't want to read?
I think you should just try it and try and find what books you like the best and try those. Mm-hmm. You don't have to stick to the same kind of books. You can read other kinds.
how do you go about deciding what book you want to read?
By reading the description on the back.
That's a good one. You just read what the book is about, and if it's like, meh, not for me, you can put it back on the shelf, but if it looks interesting, you might want to take it home and try it. Do you have a favorite author?
Don't think so. There's too many to choose from.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite author either. Also because I think it's hard to choose a favorite author because you might have an author that's like written a book you really, really love, and then maybe like the next book is just so different that it's not the same. So we are at the end of 2021. Is there any books that you would like to read next year in 2022? Any reading plans?
I think if you've heard of the book, The Littlest Bigfoot, I think I'll read that one if I haven't read it before.
What is that one about?
It's about a girl who finds a Bigfoot who's a kid wandering around, and then I think people try and capture the Bigfoot.
Do you have a favorite character from a book?
Probably Phoebe from Phoebe and Her Unicorn.
So for some kids who are listening who've never read a Phoebe and Her Unicorn graphic novel, what is so great about those books?
They're really funny, and it depicts like things that would actually happen in real life.
So it's like a good sense of humor in those stories.
Definitely.
Yeah, and have you read all of them?
Yes.
Okay, have you reread any?
Yes, definitely. Maybe The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah. So those are great books. Why don't we start with The Hobbit? What can you tell me about The Hobbit?
It's a really good book, and it includes lots of like fantasy and magical, and it includes lots of good stuff.
And for The Lord of the Rings, how does The Lord of Rings kind of connect with The Hobbit?
It takes place in the same place, Middle Earth, and it has some of the same characters.
Do you have a favorite character from that world?
Probably Arwen the elf.
I think my favorite, it's so hard. All the characters are so good. I like the two kind of like mischievous hobbits, Pippin and Merry. I like them. And Sam is pretty good too. Sam is very loyal. And have you watched the Lord of the Rings movies?
Only the first two. I haven't finished reading the third book.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Do you ever read aloud with your siblings, or when do you get your reading done?
All throughout the entire day.
Oh, nice. So what does that reading routine look like?
There isn't a specific routine, but sometimes in the evenings, my dad reads to me and my older sister.
Nice. And is reading something you could ever get tired of?
No.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for me?
Do you have a favorite book?
I do. My favorite book is called A Fine Balance, and it was written maybe, 15 years ago. But it's just a story about 4 people who live in India, and it's kind of just about how their lives intertwine with each other. It's a very good book.
It sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then I like reading like nonfiction books too. Like I like reading people's biographies and like just about history and people's like real people's lives. I really enjoy reading about. Yeah. And then, when I was your age, I like reading like a lot of like Archie comics, tons of Archie comics. Wizard of Oz was like a big one for me, and Anne of Green Gables. And recently, I think maybe 3 years ago, I started rereading the Anne of Green Gables books. And I just find them like such like they're like peaceful books to read.
They are very peaceful.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like sometimes like in the chaos of like the outside world, I'd recommend reading those books. Yeah.